Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to work on our hungry dragon. First up, we're going to fix a few of the basic things we did. We made the spikes out of one single object, and for now we're going to make them more unique. So we're going to pick a few of them and just chisel off the end tips, making some carves. One thing to keep in note, the thing I'm doing here is I'm going to the lowest subdivision, and in that subdivision I'm making the changes to this model. And you can really see that once you have changed the object, I can then go to a higher subdivision level and you can see that the detail is still preserved. So all the work we did in the last episode still remains roughly the same. On this model, the only difference is now there are bits chopped off. And the idea here is really tell a story. So if this is like a battering, a weapon that this dragon uses to hit the creatures that it's hunting for instance, sometimes like stuff breaks and it's never always in pristine condition, and that's what we're trying to create here by chiseling up some bits. After we've done some damage to those chisels, we also need to do some more damage to the dragon itself. We're going to do that by adding some scars, so making it look like this dragon has at least a few fights behind it. And the way we're going to do this is using the dam standard. First go in the dam standard, we're going to use that to actually carve in a few lines, and those lines will really indicate how this creature is hit, so in which way the dragon was in the fight. And you can see this is really basic lines we're drawing, and we're going to make them look more realistic later on. But first we're going to get the placing right. And what I'm doing here is I draw one line and then I'm going to stroke and replay last, and I'm using replay last to make the line more prominent, actually carving them in more. You can quickly see some scars I tried on the arm, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it. And I'm also here turning between the left and the right side, really looking for more a difference between both sides. So when I render this model, you won't see it's the right and the left side are actually the same. It's something I'm trying to avoid, making sure that they're different. After that, we're going to go with the clay buildup and really adding details at the side of each scar. And this time it really doesn't matter if the details are more or less. It's just the fact that they are present. And here at the lip, for instance, you can really see that I'm pushing out the detail and really trying to carve in a little bit more. That's what makes this a believable scar. And this is just going around each and every part and just making them all unique. And that's pretty much it for all the detailing work, and it means that we're now going to go to the real subject of this sculpt session, really adding in the colors. First off, we're going to create a simple sphere, and we're going to divide it a few times, making sure that there's a lot of detail because we're using poly paint here. And poly paint literally means that we're painting onto the model, and the detail of the paint is really dictated by the amount of detail inside of your model. So the higher subdivision, the more detail the paint will have. So it's not reliant on like the texture size, it's purely on the amount of polygons available on your model. That's why we create the simple sphere and duplicated that a few times. After that, we picked a few base colors. Based on the concept, I have to open them a secondary window, and those are just reference images in my own drawing with some colors in there that really work for this kind of dragon and this kind of body type. And I've just painted them on that simple sphere here. And now we're going to select each model and then just go to fill object, and we can fill the object like the body or the tongue or whatever with that certain color. And after that, we can use this sphere to simply press the C key on your keyboard, and that'll select the color that you're hovering on. So I can hover on any of those colors, paint it on the sphere, and then paint it on the dragon. And it keeps me from going into the menu and really having to find a certain color or typing anything. So it just makes my life a little bit easier. That's also why I moved it closer, just to make the selection even easier. First things first, we're going to add the darker color, and darker color is going to go in each area where actually something else is connecting. So in this case, the wings will be in that slot there, but I'm still going to make that dark. So when I move it a little bit, you can still see the darker color instead of a really bright basic color. And we're also going to do the same things with the nostrils and the scars here. And that's, of course, the scars will have a more reddish color, red color eventually, but first off the darker colors, so that at least the base coat is done. Same thing with the eyes. Just when I rotate an eye or move it just slightly a little bit, there will always be a darker layer underneath, making sure that there won't be a really bright basic color visible. And you can also see that I'm painting everything without symmetry. That's just to be sure that it all adds up. And now we selected the lighter skin color, the basic color we took in the first place, and we're going to use that actually to do the highlighting. So you can see me now painting the parts that need to be a little bit lighter, and after that we took a darker color and we're going to do the complete opposite. So we're going to paint the places that needs to be darker. So that's the bottom side, because eventually there will be some lighting at the top side of the model, and that'll actually make sure that the top is a little bit lighter, even in texture color, compared to the bottom of the model. You can see that I'm not really using a large difference, so it's completely black compared to like a very bright color on top, and that's just so I can alter the lighting later on. And you can also see that I'm using a regular texture with a brush that really creates a pattern, and that just means that I'm not putting down flat color, but I'm really layering each color on top of each other. And that darker color really makes the darker spots pop. And I'm also putting some darker color, I don't know if you saw it, at the bottom side of the wing, and that's just because the wing will cast a little bit of shade on the model itself. And after that we're going to go to the ridge, and that's also some kind of a bone or rock structure I want to put on there, and making it darker, and making sure that it has at least a bit of a color difference. And we'll refine those differences between light and dark later on in the texturing process in the next episode. But this is really just the base coat for our texture to work on the model. The idea here is really putting everything together, and that's also why I'm redoing the inside of the mouth. I want it to be a little bit darker, and that'll really make sure that the rest pops. And after the last phase is actually adding the lighter color we started with, and to really make the contrast between the darker color at the bottom and the light color on top. Just to blend it all together and make sure that there's a good difference between the colors. Eventually the material and the colors used later on in the texturing and carving in will be the ones that really pronounce the model. For now I would say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.